hideous creature.
Hey guys, Hideous Z here. We're looking at a Zac jungle game in Silver 4 this time. We're going to be talking a bit about ranked anxiety, predicting enemy behavior, and keeping your victory conditions in mind at all times. Thank you for checking out this video. Let's jump in. One other thing that happens a few times this game is you reveal your position really needlessly. So, this kill on Yasuo isn't really your fault. But you walk through mid lane for some reason. And this happens just in mid, but in the brain. As a jungler, the Fog of War is one of your biggest weapons. As long as the enemy team doesn't know where you are, they have to assume that you can't be near them. They have to expect that you're about to jump in for a game. But right now, Poppy knows that you're going to jump. And the answer is, you know that you were walking down toward bot. So they're going to be on their guard because they know you're on this side. You don't have to worry about it. Whereas if you just take the long way around, it costs you a few more seconds, but the enemy team has no idea where you are. And they have to, again, they have to assume that you might be nearby. And that creates a lot of pressure. You're creating map-wide pressure without having to go anywhere at once. So protect your position and use the Fog of War. Okay, going back here a little bit. You right click and so now you're chasing it. And this is just kind of a awareness and being decisive. Reading the situation. At this point right now, Eve is gone. She has escaped. There's no point in chasing her anymore. You realize that until you stop chasing her. Because Lucian doesn't realize that. And then later on you end up going back in and trying to kill her again. Even this flash was probably pretty questionable. The odds of that working, especially given the path that Lucian was taking, pretty low, honestly. So you probably were better off not flashing and just deciding that she's probably going to get away at that point. And that's okay, especially considering the fact that look at this dude. This dude is totally out of mana and is completely out of position. You have 3 members of your team here. This dude is dead. Or he should be, but he isn't dead because Lucian is cuddling on Eve. Zyra. Gets away scot-free. He's totally out of position. That would honestly, even if there was a better than average chance of catching Eve, if there was like a 60% chance of catching Eve, I would argue that it was closer to like a 30 or 40% chance of catching Eve, because she had already pretty much made her escape and she had flash available. There's a 60% chance of catching Eve even, and you see Azir here tunneling on Yasuo without any mana. Forget Eve. This is your free kill. Who cares? Screw her. Let her go. Collapse on Azir. Secure this. This is free gold. This is tough gold. Don't do this. This imaginary Eve that's still standing here. Do this. The imaginary Azir that's still standing here. Instead, Azir ends up coming back in and at least getting an assist. No, he gets the kill on you. He gets a free kill. He should be dead this entire time, and instead he comes in and gets a free kill. Okay, jumping forward a bit here. So I talked a little bit earlier about guarding your position and using the Fog of War. And then here's another issue where you're just not valuing the price. I'm not sure. You just walk in. Way more effort than it is. If you're up near Tribush, you see an opportunity to Zero Yasuo maybe is even smaller. I didn't see. But this is a good opportunity to gank. This isn't warded. And you have... Okay, I'm not sure if you have the Raptor buff or not. You might not. So maybe you can't see if this is warded for sure or not. But you can read his actions. If he just like automatically just stays away, then you know it's warded. If he runs back to his turret or heads off into this brush, then you know it's warded and say, okay, whatever, it's no gank today, but you forced him away from Yasuo, so go kill Scuttle Crab. But that's not really what happens. So you go in. Standing in the road. You are in slingshot range here. Or almost. You are very close to being in slingshot range here. And now you almost certainly are. It might not quite be long enough. I can't bring it up to look at it right now, but it's very close. So I'm not sure why you decide to just go for it. He goes aggressive on Yas. Or actually, Yas goes aggressive on him. But that's whatever. Why not just wait and let Yasuo pull Azir over to you? Or chat. Tell Yasuo to bait him over closer to this side of the lane. Something. Anything. Don't just walk in, because now Azir knows that it's not a 1v1. He was thinking, okay, I just have to kill this Yasuo because I'm ahead, and this Yasuo is being over-aggressive, and I can fight him. And with that mindset, you can catch him off guard, knock him up with your with Slingshot. That lets Yas ult, and you guys kill Azir at that point, because Yas ults, and then you follow up with your ult, and he's CC'd, he's just chain stunned, and you kill him. But this way, you walk in, he knows that you're there now, before you have a chance. You know, he has time to react, basically, whereas if you slingshot in, he doesn't really have time to react. So you walk in, that gives him time to react. He uses his ult defensively. Yeah, but, I mean, Yasuo had to burn his flash. You burned a lot of time. Yasuo wasn't going to be able to really capitalize on this kill, because he can't, like... It's not safe for him to shove the turret or to go roam now that he doesn't have a lane opponent or anything. He pretty much has to recall. There's no need for it to knock him up and kill him instead of all these shenanigans. Okay, so jumping forward a little bit more here. Okay, so you see Eve. You know she's there. It's probably so you know she's in the vicinity. Yasuo kind of heads down. That's good. And then it looks like here that you're going, okay, Eve is in the vicinity, so I'm going to wait for her to steal my blue. Because Eve doesn't know that you know. Well, I mean, she knows that she was spotted, but she doesn't know where you are, for sure. So, like, it's pretty easy to read what Eve is going to do, or what Eve is likely to do. You can read her mind pretty easily here. Just like in lane, when people are last hitting and there's a cannon minion that's getting low, it's pretty easy to read your opponent's mind. He's going to go to try to last hit or secure that cannon minion, and so you can react appropriately and set up to trade with him or something. This is a pretty easy mind read. Blue is up. Eve is a sneaky invading jungler. You know she's in the area. It's a pretty good chance that she's going to check out your blue. So it looked like you were standing here for a second, and I thought that maybe you were onto that, and you were waiting for her to show up. But you don't. You move in. I don't know why you do this. Like, while you're standing here, you got to be thinking, okay, Eve is nearby, my blue is up, she knows the icon is on her minimap, so she knows that at least it could be up. She could sneak in and take a look. So what could I do that would absolutely make Eve's day? Well, I could use half of my ability combo on the buff and then let her sneak up and ult me, which is exactly what happens. Eve isn't strong enough to just outright kill you anymore, and so you end up being okay here, and your team does respond appropriately, so this isn't a disaster, but it's just, again, it's just an awareness thing. Why would you jump in on that when you know she's nearby? Why not wait back here, check it out, and then so, and as you climb, when you know something like that, you need to have a plan of action that's forming in your mind. You need to look forward into the future, 30 seconds, and have a plan of action. So there's a good chance that Eve might come up and check blue. So you need to have a plan of action in your mind. If Eve comes and checks blue, I'm going to do this. So first of all, I'm not going to use Slingshot, because that's an extremely important CC ability that I will probably need to beat Eve, or to hold her down long enough for my team to come in and kill her anyway. So first of all, I'm not going to do that. Second of all, I'm going to hold off for a few seconds to see if Eve comes in and tries to steal the buff. So I'm going to hang back in the Fog of War for 5 or seconds or so and just see if she does. If not, then I'm just going to walk up to the buff and start attacking it, because there's a chance that maybe she's just standing waiting for me to do that. She's just standing here waiting for me to start taking the buff so that then she can gank me. So I'm not going to use any of my abilities. I'm going to walk up, I'm going to start attacking the buff. If she doesn't attack me after a couple of seconds, maybe I'll walk down here to see if I can find her. If not, if after a couple of seconds she doesn't pop out, then okay, I'm going to figure she's probably gone, and I'm just going to start doing the buff as normal. But it doesn't seem like you have that plan. It seems like, okay, Eve was there, can't see her anymore, she's probably gone. Here I go, doing my normal thing. And you just kind of jump into acting like she's fallen off the face of the earth all of a sudden. Don't fall into the trap of out of sight, out of mind. She was still there. It could have gone much poorer for you if your team hadn't been nearby. The same sort of thing happens a little bit later on. So, you know that Eve is nearby here. So here's the situation. Lucian's dead, Poppy's dead. So it's 4v4. Your team, you have Olaf top lane, and they know he's top lane. Zyra's here, and she was just up in this lane, so they know she's top lane as well. Yasuo just respawned, I think. So they know that you're alone. What do you know? I think maybe Fizz just respawned, but I'm not sure if he recalled or respawned. I don't think you really know where he is. And since they have home guards now, as long as he's up, he could be out in lane in just a couple of seconds. You don't know where Brand is. You know where Eve is. You know where Azir is. Or if you do know where Brand is, you know he's on this side of the map. So you know that Fizz could respond to bot side. You know that Brand could be on this side of the map if you spotted him on one of these wards. You know Eve is here, and you know Azir is mid. You're looking at bot lane, you're seeing this turret is really low. And then you walk into bot lane like nothing go wrong. And you start pushing the wave. Even if Eve shows up, you probably can't take this turret. She can't kill you, probably, but if you take the time to shove in and take the turret and then try to get away from her, she will be able to chase you down and kill you eventually if you're just running. If you stick around and try to kill her, her team will join in and kill you. There's like no way this goes well for you. Like best case scenario, Eve is late to respond, you kill the turret, slingshot away, and you get away. That's not what happens. You know that they're nearby. You know that they all could be way nearby. You know at least one or two of them is very nearby. And yet you walk into danger anyway. There's nobody on your team that's even close to you. There's no pressure anywhere else on the map that's drawing the enemy team's attention. You're the only interesting thing happening. Like, if the enemy team is just casually glancing at the minimap right now, you're the only thing that's pinging like a red flag for them. Okay, so they're back in this lane. They're not threatening anything of ours. Olaf's not threatening anything of ours. He will maybe eventually, but not right now. Dragon's up, but we have vision on it. It's not being threatened. And Lucian just respawned. So there's nothing really interesting happening. Oh, wait, Zack's pushing bot lane. Red alert, everyone go bot lane to stop Zack. It's the only thing that they have to respond to. So of course they're going to come. And again, you know that at least a couple of them are nearby. So I'm not sure why you do this. You're tunneling on this turret here. Why not just wait? Since you saw Eve, why not just like walk into this brush and then just wait? Just hang out here until they decide that you're not going for the turret after all, and they pop up in mid lane, or they walk over one of your wards. And then you can take this without a minion wave. It's low enough. You could just like walk up, slingshot in, take it, and then run away. So why not just be patient and wait for them to think that you've left? Because damage to get away. You're just not really thinking of what could go wrong. Eve's here. There's nothing really interesting happening. Dragon is up. So they're probably nearby because they want to take Dragon. There's just all kinds of indications that there was multiple people in this area, or likely to be in this area at best. So you're not really asking yourself, I want to take this turret, but what could go wrong? You're just saying, I want to take this turret, so I'm going to do it. Don't do that. Ask yourself what could go wrong. Think through the options as best you can. If the list is too long and you're not able to respond to what could go wrong and is likely to go wrong, that like you won't be able to effectively respond to without having to burn your flags at ultimate, for instance, to get out of, then it's probably not a good idea to do it. Back off or wait for better opportunity. Okay. So things are pretty even right now. Dragon spawning in 50 seconds.
Has been destroyed.
You guys sort of this is nuts. Why are you doing this? Okay, so this is a 3v2 dive under an Azir turret, and Azir turrets do more damage than normal turrets, by the way. And it's barely 3v2. Like, Zyra's way behind. And he's got reinforcements coming in that you should have known about. You could see Poppy coming in. And I don't think you had vision of Eve, but she could be anywhere, so you always have to be aware of that. So it's a really risky fight. And what do you gain if you win it? Not much, really. I mean, there's not a turret to take that you'll have time to take, probably. It's an Azir turret, so that won't gain you much here, and this one's going to take too long to take, so this map victory won't result in this turret. Because you're turret diving, you're going to lose so much health and probably a couple of teammates that even if you do come out on top, you'll be too low to establish any meaningful map pressure. You'll have to recall or go back and farm or something. You won't be able to take the risk of going in and warding their jungle or pressuring a turret or anything like that, or even taking dragon, you know, unless you wipe them and they're all dead. But even if that happens, again, you probably are going to lose a few people. Only one or two of you are going to be alive, and you'll probably be low. And that is, again, going to be too risky to really do. So you don't stand to gain much of anything. So it's high risk, and it's low reward. And that makes it a bad idea. And it's not like you didn't have a choice. There's zero reason to pick this fight. They're not threatening anything. It's not like they had you backed into a corner and you had to engage. They were just, they were just hanging out under their turret. So, and here's the biggest kicker of all. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. Why not spend this time, instead of taking a really risky fight under their turret, why not spend this time establishing airtight control of this dragon area? Instead of diving a turret with poor vision of their team, as in you don't really know where they all are, so you're diving a turret and all kinds of things could go wrong, instead of spending the time doing that, set this area up so that instead of taking a risky fight, you'll be baiting them into the area they have no vision of. Dragon's up in 30 seconds. You know they're going to want to contest that. When Dragon comes up, they're going to look down here and they're going to say, we need to take Dragon. If you've spent this last 50 seconds, instead of chasing up and taking this really questionable fight, if you spent that time making sure this is warded, making sure this is warded, this is warded, this is warded, and then you guys just hang out in this brush or inside the dragon pit or something, then they have to come to your turf. Right now, you're diving onto their home base. Why would you do that when in 30 seconds, you're going to have the perfect opportunity to make them come to you? You have an incredible zone control team fight between Zyra ult, your ult, Yasuo's ult, and then Olaf and Lucian come in for cleanup. If you can get them into a confined area, like usually happens when they're coming to try to stop you from taking Dragon, you can obliterate them. So in 30 seconds, you know that you're either getting a free Dragon or a team fight that you can win. So why do this? This is nuts. You should never pick a risky fight before Dragon comes up, or Baron too, later game. Because if you lose, you're giving them a free objective, and if you win, you aren't gaining anything that you couldn't have gained more effectively by baiting them into a fight on your terms. So if Dragon is coming up in 60 seconds, or 30 seconds for sure, don't look for a fight. Unless you see something that is just 100% free. Like if you see somebody that you can pick off and you know for a fact that they're alone, or you can win a 5v2 or something, then yeah, sure, go for that, obviously. But don't do something like this. Don't pick a 5v5 if you don't have great vision control. Don't do something that has any meaningful risk of losing because you give this up. And there's no reason to give this up. Now, as it turns out in this game, they don't end up taking it, and they don't end up taking it for a long time because they miss several opportunities to take Dragon for free. But that's their mistake. They could have capitalized on your mistake, and just because they didn't doesn't mean it could not make it not a mistake. Setting up for a really effective dragon fight.
Shut down.
Okay, jumping forward. Not really leveraging the dice like I was talking about. So you just killed Paladin and Fizz, or between the two of you, you did.
Shut
Elsewhere,
down.
Azir and Yas kill each other. Right now, 3 of them are dead. 1 of you is dead. Why are you not making a beeline for Dragon right now? Or even Baron, honestly. You're big enough that that might not be a terrible idea. That's probably a little bit risky because Lucian and Olaf are low. But Dragon is free. They have 2 people up. Yeah, these people aren't nothing. You can't ignore these guys. But if you go to Dragon, then they have to come and try to stop you or give it to you for free. Even if you wait for Lucian and Olaf to recall and heal up and then come, you can go and prevent the enemy team from taking it while you're waiting for them to get there, and they'll be able to recall and arrive way before the enemy team responds. So the enemy team passes up on another free dragon here for some reason, and you guys end up getting the dragon and winning a fight, but it's only because they're playing really fast. Like, you should have run to secure that objective right now, at least. Big numbers advantage, power play, okay, moving into this is kind of a similar situation, honestly. So you guys are kind of spread out right now. You gotta look at the map and read what's happening. Fizz is fast pushing top. He's making really good time. You finally pick up this lower turret, and that's okay. But the minions probably would have taken it in a few seconds anyway. And by you being down here, you're really risking things because you can't get up here in time to defend this turret from Fizz. And if your team has to send somebody up, then there's still going to be this gap where it's possibly a 4v3 in mid lane before you have time to get even to mid. So you being bot lane is pretty questionable. But what's kind of happening right now, as you are responding and your team is heading in mid, Fizz is pushing top, and his team is just stalling. Why are you chasing? You gotta be more decisive. Are getting these turrets. They can't defend their turret through this jungle. They can't defend while they're ride this wave into this turret. If you pressure this turret, they will come back to you. So you don't spend 30 seconds chasing them around in their jungle. You go here, and they come to you. So you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You're pressuring an objective, and the people that you wanted to chase down and kill are suddenly back in your, in your area without having to chase them through the jungle, wasting a lot of time and giving up top turret for no reason. Book it for this. If this is a situation where Fizz is up here It's a 4v5 on the map. Take advantage of it. You have a 4v5. Force a fight and shove the objective. That forces Fizz to come back. Or, because he can't, because as fast as Fizz is pushing right now, he can't push faster than 5 of you. So force a fight, and when they start running, take this turret. Don't succumb to the temptation of chasing them through the jungle. Instead, you waste so much time, Fizz gets 2 free turrets and throws your whole team into disarray, and not only is that not good strategically, it's the kind of thing that will start your team fighting and tilting. Okay, so here's an example of you actually doing it right for the most part. So you're seeing that dragon is about to respawn, and you're seeing that you have a dragon. You're killing the dragon, you're heading that direction. You catch his pushing down that way, which is fine. I mean, you're not catching, you don't catch him per se, but you're in charge of the situation. All the momentum is on your side. Your team is heading for dragon because you pulled you recognize that you still have they weren't paying attention to dragon. You only took it for free. Then you realize that it's only 3 people in mid lane and your whole team is still alive. So you collapse mid, you win a fight there, and you start pushing toward mid.
Blue team's turret.
And then take this turret. So that's the kind of thing. Okay, so you end up disconnecting a couple times here at the end of the game, and that does throw you guys for a
Red
loop.
team's turret has been destroyed.
It slows things down.
Red team's inhibitor has been
You guys do
destroyed.
eventually win this game, but obviously delay that by a bit. The split push is really what
Red
was
team has slain the dragon.
and it almost won the game for you guys. So you beat a split push. I talked about this a little bit before, but you beat a split push by forcing the 5v4. Or by pushing
A
S5
summoner
faster
has
than the split pusher
reconnected.
can push, which is usually, one after the other. Well, you have to be decisive. As soon as you see that Fizz is splitting, you've got to make something happen now.
Shut
Or he'll
down.
make you pay for it. The longer you
Shut
wait
down.
around, the more objective he's going to take, the bigger his mini wave is going to be, and you'll get to a point where you just have to recall and deal with him, and you don't get anything, and you end up giving him a turret for free, essentially.
Shut down.
There's just no opportunity to take it. You don't wait for him to take turrets from you. Just go deal with it. Call it early. Call immediately to deal with it. So the decisiveness is kind of the
Red
biggest
team's
issue.
inhibitor is respawning soon.
Just a lack of direction and fights that will result in objectives taken. When Dragon comes up, you're setting up vision around it so that you will win that fight and secure that objective. When outer turrets fall, you're establishing vision in their jungle and watching minion waves so you can outmaneuver them and win a fight and take their inner turrets, and etc, etc. You do not want to end up in a situation where you're just wandering around waiting for a good fight to fall on your hands. Or worse, you're taking fights on their terms that you stand a good chance of losing. Don't be a gambler, be a general. Set up the battlefield, force the enemy to fight on your terms, and reap the rewards. Thanks for the opportunity to take a look at this game. I really appreciate it, and best of luck.